yeah, I used to make $1 a day back. Well, the first few years I wasn't even making money off YouTube, but once I started making money, I was making $1 a day, and I saved up for a couple months. I bought a microphone, saved up for half a year. I got a computer, and I've just always reinvested it. And so it's like literally just all. I mean, I was like as awkward as they came. No money, no nothing, and I just basically just obsessed over YouTube every day for a decade.
Are your first episodes available when you were 11 years old?
No, because I had a friend when I was 13 that found my channel, and so I deleted like all the videos. I got really self-conscious.
Oh no!
I know, but so everything from 13 and up is there, and yeah, they're fucking terrible.
That's still cool.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you first started? Like, what was the first idea?
The very first video. Weirdly enough, I played this stupid game and some hacker like killed my base when I was 11, and so I uploaded it, and my first video got 20,000 views like instantly, because it was like all the people that played the game was like, oh shit, you can hack in this game. It's a game called Battle Pirates. I guarantee you no one listening.
What is it called?
Battle Pirates. No one here has ever heard of it.
Battle
Pirates. It was,
Battle Pirates.
Yeah, it's a really small game, but I uploaded that and it got 20,000 views. And that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because then I was hooked from day one. Literally, like most people, it takes hundreds of videos before you get like one view. And somehow the very first video I uploaded at 11 got like 20,000 views. And then I was just like, oh, I fell in love, and I've been hooked ever since.
Did you know that a teenager from North Carolina turned making YouTube videos into a billion-dollar empire that employs over 250 people and gives away millions of dollars every single month? This isn't just another success story. This is the blueprint for how one person completely revolutionized an entire industry and created a business model that didn't exist before he invented it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how MrBeast built his empire and the specific strategies you can apply to your own life, whether you're building a business, pursuing a dream, or just trying to level up. But here's the crazy part. It almost never happened. Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, started his YouTube journey at age 13 in 2012. But for the first 6 years, he was basically invisible. His videos barely got any views. He was making content about gaming, random commentary, and whatever teenagers typically talk about online. Most people would have quit. Most people would have said, this isn't working, and moved on to something else. But Jimmy had something different. He had an obsession that would change everything. While other kids his age were playing video games or hanging out with friends, Jimmy was studying YouTube like it was a science. He would spend 12 to 16 hours every single day analyzing what made videos go viral. He studied the thumbnail designs, the titles, the pacing, the editing techniques, the psychology behind why people click and why they keep watching. He wasn't just casually browsing YouTube like the rest of us. He was dissecting it frame by frame, understanding the algorithm better than most people who actually worked at YouTube. This obsessive dedication to understanding the platform is the first major lesson we can learn from MrBeast's journey. Success isn't just about talent or luck. It's about becoming so obsessed with understanding your craft that you know it better than anyone else. Jimmy didn't just want to make videos. He wanted to crack the code of viral content. And that obsession with mastery is what separated him from millions of other creators who were just uploading content and hoping for the best. But studying wasn't enough. Jimmy understood that knowledge without action is worthless. So he started experimenting with different types of content, testing what worked and what didn't. But Jimmy understood something that most people missed. He knew that the YouTube algorithm rewards watch time above almost everything else. If he could create content that kept people watching for longer periods, the algorithm would push his videos to more people. The counting video wasn't just a stunt. It was a calculated move based on his deep understanding of how YouTube actually works. The video exploded, getting millions of views and establishing Jimmy as someone who was willing to do the impossible for content. This brings us to the second major lesson from MrBeast's empire: differentiation through extreme commitment. In a world where everyone is trying to create content, you need to be willing to do what others won't do. Jimmy didn't just make videos about counting. He made videos about doing the most extreme versions of everything. He spent 24 hours in a haunted house, gave away cars to random people, and created challenges that seemed impossible. While other creators were playing it safe, Jimmy was going all in on ideas that seemed insane, but were actually brilliant marketing strategies. But here's where most people get the MrBeast story wrong. They think his success came from just being crazy and giving away money. That's not true. Behind every viral video was a sophisticated understanding of business, psychology, and content strategy. Jimmy wasn't just throwing money around randomly. Every dollar he spent was an investment in growing his audience, testing new content formats, and building a sustainable business model. The real breakthrough came when Jimmy realized that YouTube wasn't just a platform for entertainment. It was a platform for building a business empire. Most creators think about YouTube as a place to get famous or make some money from ad revenue. Jimmy thought about it as a foundation for building multiple revenue streams and creating a brand that could expand far beyond YouTube. This is the third crucial lesson: thinking beyond the platform. While other YouTubers were focused on subscriber counts and view numbers, Jimmy was building a business infrastructure. He started hiring team members, not just editors or assistants, but business strategists, data analysts, and creative directors. He treated his YouTube channel like a startup company, complete with departments, systems, and long-term strategic planning. The team-building aspect of MrBeast's empire is something most people completely overlook. Jimmy understood early on that he couldn't scale his impact working alone. He needed people who were as obsessed with creating amazing content as he was. But here's the genius part. He didn't just hire employees. He hired people who became partners in the vision. His team members aren't just working for Jimmy. They're building something together that's bigger than any individual. Chris Tyson, Chandler Hallow, and the other core team members became part of the MrBeast brand itself. They weren't just behind-the-scenes workers. They became characters in the content, each with their own personalities and fan bases. This collaborative approach created content that felt authentic and built stronger connections with audiences. People weren't just watching Jimmy anymore. They were watching a group of friends building something incredible together. This collaborative approach is the fourth major lesson. Success is a team sport. Even if you're building a personal brand or working on individual goals, surrounding yourself with people who share your vision and complement your skills will accelerate your progress exponentially. Jimmy could have stayed a solo creator, but he chose to build a team that could execute ideas bigger than what any individual could accomplish alone. Now let's talk about the business model innovation that really set MrBeast apart from every other content creator on the planet. Most YouTubers make money from ad revenue, sponsorships, and maybe some merchandise. Jimmy flipped this entire model upside down. Instead of trying to maximize profit from his videos, he reinvested almost everything back into making bigger and better content. Think about this strategy for a moment. While other creators were buying cars and houses with their YouTube money, Jimmy was putting every dollar back into his videos. If he made $50,000 from a video, he would spend $75,000 on the next video. This seems like a losing strategy until you understand the compound effect it created. Each video was bigger and more impressive than the last, which attracted more viewers, which generated more revenue, which allowed for even bigger videos. This reinvestment cycle created exponential growth rather than linear growth. Instead of slowly building his channel over decades, Jimmy compressed years of growth into months by constantly raising the stakes and production value of his content. This reinvestment philosophy is the fifth major lesson: delayed gratification and compound growth. In a world where everyone wants immediate returns and instant success, Jimmy was willing to sacrifice short-term profits for long-term empire building. He understood that the money he didn't spend on himself today would become the foundation for much larger returns in the future. But the genius of MrBeast's empire goes even deeper than smart reinvestment. Jimmy recognized that his audience wasn't just watching for entertainment. They were watching because his content represented something aspirational. People didn't just want to see him give away money. They wanted to believe that generosity and kindness could be rewarded in the world. Every MrBeast video carries an underlying message that good things happen to good people, and that success can be used to help others. This emotional connection is what transformed Jimmy from a content creator into a cultural phenomenon. His videos aren't just entertainment. They're proof that the world can be a better place when people use their resources and platforms to help others. Whether he's planting trees, feeding homeless people, or giving away entire houses, every piece of content reinforces the idea that success should be shared. The emotional resonance of MrBeast's content is the sixth major lesson. Purpose-driven work creates deeper connections. When your work is connected to something bigger than yourself, people don't just consume your content or buy your products. They become part of a movement. Jimmy's audience doesn't just watch his videos. They share them because they want to spread the message that generosity and positivity can change the world. Now let's examine how Jimmy expanded his empire beyond YouTube. Most content creators who try to diversify their income streams do it backwards. They build an audience first, then try to figure out what to sell them. Jimmy approached it differently. He identified business opportunities that aligned with his brand values and audience interests, then created content around those businesses. MrBeast Burger is a perfect example of this strategy. Instead of just launching a restaurant chain and hoping his audience would support it, Jimmy created content around the restaurant business. He made videos about surprising customers, giving away free meals, and showing behind-the-scenes footage of restaurant operations. The business became content, and the content promoted the business. This integration created a flywheel effect where each element reinforced the others. Feastables, his chocolate company, followed the same model. Jimmy didn't just create a product and hope people would buy it. He created an entire content series around building the company, testing recipes, and competing with established brands like Hershey's. The business launch became entertainment, and the entertainment drove business results. This integrated approach is the seventh major lesson. Alignment between content and business creates exponential value. Instead of treating content creation and business building as separate activities, Jimmy found ways to make them mutually reinforcing. Every business venture became content opportunities, and every piece of content supported his business ecosystem. The scale of MrBeast's empire today is absolutely mind-blowing. His main YouTube channel has over 200 million subscribers. His various channels combined have billions of views. MrBeast Burger has thousands of locations across multiple countries. Feastables is competing with major candy companies for shelf space in retailers. His Beast Philanthropy channel has raised and donated millions of dollars to charitable causes around the world. But here's what's really impressive. Jimmy built all of this before turning 25 years old. He created a business empire that employs hundreds of people and generates hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, all starting from making videos in his childhood bedroom. The transformation from unknown teenager to global business mogul happened in less than a decade. The speed of this transformation highlights the eighth major lesson: the power of digital leverage in the modern economy. In previous generations, building a business empire required decades of slow, incremental growth. Today, if you understand digital platforms and can create content that resonates with large audiences, you can compress decades of traditional business building into just a few years. But success at this level comes with challenges that most people never consider. Jimmy has talked openly about the pressure and stress that comes with managing such a large operation. Every video requires massive coordination between dozens of team members. Every business decision affects hundreds of employees and millions of fans. The stakes are incredibly high, and the pressure to constantly innovate and exceed expectations never stops. This brings us to the ninth major lesson. Success requires developing systems for managing complexity. As your impact and influence grow, you need to develop better systems for managing people, processes, and pressure. Jimmy didn't just get better at making videos. He got better at leading teams, making strategic decisions, and handling the psychological challenges that come with building something at scale. The most important aspect of MrBeast's empire isn't the money, or the fame, or even the business success. It's the proof of concept he's created for what's possible when you combine deep expertise, extreme commitment, strategic thinking, and genuine purpose. Jimmy didn't just build a YouTube channel, he built a new model for how individuals can create massive positive impact in the world using digital platforms and entrepreneurial thinking. Looking at MrBeast's journey from struggling teenager to global empire builder, there are specific strategies you can apply to your own goals, regardless of what you're trying to build. First, develop obsessive expertise in your chosen field. Don't just participate in your industry. Study it until you understand it better than almost anyone else. Second, be willing to do what others won't do. Differentiation comes from extreme commitment to excellence and innovation. Third, think beyond immediate results and build for compound growth. Reinvest your early wins into creating even bigger opportunities. Fourth, surround yourself with people who share your vision and can help you execute at levels you couldn't reach alone. Fifth, connect your work to something bigger than yourself so that people become emotionally invested in your success. The MrBeast empire proves that in today's economy, individuals with the right combination of skills, strategy, and dedication can build businesses that compete with traditional corporations. You don't need inherited wealth or institutional backing. You need deep expertise, strategic thinking, extreme commitment, and the willingness to reinvest your wins into creating even bigger opportunities. Whether you're building a business, developing a skill, or pursuing any ambitious goal, the principles that built MrBeast's empire can accelerate your progress. The question isn't whether these strategies work. MrBeast has already proven they work at the highest levels. The question is whether you're willing to apply them with the same level of commitment and consistency that turned a teenager from North Carolina into one of the most influential entrepreneurs of his generation. The most inspiring part of Jimmy's story is that it's still being written. At 25 years old, he's already built an empire that most people couldn't create in multiple lifetimes. But based on his track record of constantly pushing boundaries and finding new ways to create value for others, this is probably just the beginning of what MrBeast will accomplish. If you found these insights valuable and want to learn more strategies for building something meaningful in your own life, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We break down the success principles of the world's most successful people so you can apply them to your own journey. What's the most important lesson you learned from MrBeast's empire building strategy? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore another incredible success story that can change how you think about what's possible.